So continuing with the series where we talk about what are the things that you need to be successful on YouTube. One of the questions that keep coming to us is how important is it to look good on camera, or how important it is to be good looking in front of the camera. So these are two very different things, right?
So can you be a YouTuber only if you're good looking, or do
Yes.
YouTubers need to be good looking?
Yes. So either you need to be good looking or do you need to be looking good in front of the camera. These are the two things that we want to be discussing in this one. I want to, before we go there, I was just seeing that you were putting some nice makeup before this. So yeah, what's your take?
No, I really don't care how I look on camera.
Okay.
The reason I use, so my entire makeup kit for YouTube is this shared Pond's or whatever talcum this is. The reason for this is on camera, and this I've realized over the years. In my initial videos on my channel, you will figure that it was all over the place. But what I figured that there are certain touch points on the face which are, if your face is even slightly oily,
Right.
they shine on camera. Now this, since I've spent a lot of time, like I've seen over 10,000 videos in the last 4 years being uploaded on YouTube. So there's some operational, or what do you say, professional hazard.
Sure.
That you pick up that, okay, that these 2 points and this one nose as a tip, or
Maybe
this
a chin.
forehead, some of these points shine because the light is falling on this,
Right.
and they shine extra bright, and that gets overexposed on camera. But that's the only reason, since I'm here and we are trying to create somewhat professional video, at least let's just put some remove the oil basically from those touch points. But apart from that, when I started my YouTube channel, I actually started my own YouTube channel, the one where I show my face and work. I've been on YouTube since 2008, but this channel started in Jan 2020.
Right.
And soon after that, I started in the same studio, in fact.
Okay.
And soon after that, COVID happened, lockdown kicked in. I was at home, and I started figuring how can I shoot at home. So at home, I had a very, as in I just moved to Pune 2 or 3 months back. I had a very rudimentary apartment, so I just picked up whatever wall against which I can put a laptop in background and start shooting there. And there were no lights, there was just sunlight coming in from a window where I will shoot. So I only had that afternoon window where I could shoot, and
Sure.
it does get really hot in say April, May.
Right.
Over here. So I have to plan, I need the sunlight, I need the light coming in, but I would get drenched very far soon. So I will be in my shorts wearing a shirt over it, but I have to keep that shirt very loosely fitted so that it does not drench in my own sweat before the shoot finishes. Right. And some of the shoots it could be seen as well.
Okay.
And then a few months later I had to shave my head and sit in the same room and shoot, because the office hadn't started for a while after that.
Right.
So so all of those, I've been through such, what do you say, chaotic shooting for my own channel, and the channel did well. Sure. And that was the time when I was learning YouTube.
Right.
So one of our theories at Video School has been that what you speak and your quality of audio is much more important than the video.
Sure.
And for that reason, I don't think good looks on YouTube works. In fact, something which I advocate very passionately is that don't consider looks when you are thinking of who will become a YouTuber, who will be face of a YouTube channel. And this applies a lot to brands. Yeah. Individuals may of course think that, hey, I'm not good enough to be in front of a camera. And yes, I know that's a little jump you have to make. Yeah. Everyone thinks the same, but over 300 videos made myself and over 3.5 lakh subscribers later, I can tell you, nobody cares how you look. You may get that one odd comment abusing you or calling out something or whatever. Who cares? Right? That will happen no matter how good looking you are. Believe me, don't our actors or actresses get it. So who are you? So there's no beauty contest happening there on YouTube. But for brands, I think brands get very...
it's a part of the brand image, right? And I think that's
me a good-looking face on
or
camera.
A camera-friendly face. That's a new in thing.
I think camera-friendly face is a way of saying the same thing. But I understand it's a different. It's actually.
That's a good point. Let's discuss whether it is what is camera-friendly versus good-looking. Is there?
अगर हिंदी में कहूँ तो मैं सुंदर दिखता हूँ, मैं सुंदर दिख रहा हूँ. Camera-friendly is, can I emote in front of the camera? Can I own the audience and really connect with them? Sure. That is what I will say camera friendly. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Which is a very subtle point. Fair enough. And a lot of YouTubers, individual YouTubers who are successful, I generally challenge people, go to their YouTube channels, Go to the videos tab, look at their oldest videos.
Right.
Look at how they used to look. And over here, I'll name a YouTuber. He doesn't know me, we have never met. I have seen some of his videos, but really inspiring story. So if you look at this channel called Gyan Therapy, he's a tech
Right.
YouTuber.
Oh, yes.
Go and look at his first YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take the liberty of showing a screenshot and look at his latest videos.
Yeah.
Now you see the journey from where to where. And MKBHD again is a
MKBHD
very
is a
popular
great
story, but
example.
I want to give a local example.
Yeah.
So Gyan Therapy is such a great example.
Yeah.
So camera friendly, I think the more time you spend in front of the camera,
Sure.
and the more you practice, you will become camera friendly. You won't
So
start.
that is
as a
something that can be
YouTuber.
taught, essentially. Right.
It can be, yeah, you can
Or
say
practice.
it's a craft.
Sure.
Okay, it can develop.
Sure.
But if you just put a full stop at, okay, you're not good looking, you're not going to be in front of the camera, I think that's very short-sighted. And in fact, a lot of times, what we end up doing as a result of looking for good looks is, okay, content, we'll get to the content. Good looks, let's decide the studio, looks,
Yeah.
camera. Now let's put a teleprompter, read the teleprompter.
Yeah.
Now the problem is, the moment I read a teleprompter and I talk to you about something very intelligent, because someone intelligent has written it, it will sound interesting. It will be like music. And if I repeat this, if I continue this for a minute, you will probably sleep, because now you can think of the Doordarshans of the world. You can think of the teacher in school, college, whoever spoke in this teacher tone with you. It gets very monotonous. It gets very monotonous.
It's exactly like a news anchor. In fact, if
Even news anchors have become animated now.
Absolutely.
as Gupta ji says, commando comic.
Yes. Right, but if you remember the good old days of the Doordarshans or even the BBCs of the world, right, you
Yeah.
would always keep them in mind as somebody who's extremely robotic, who would come in a particular way of talking, etc. Right, you would really see their character when they are down on the streets.
Yeah.
Right. So I think, but coming back to the brand question, Ankur, one of the things that, as you rightly said, is short-sighted. Is this is a part of my brand image. Right, this is how my brand is. So if my brand has to appeal to, say, certain Gen Z, so it has to have a certain. So let's talk about someone who's doing finance, right? Fintech. Someone wants to do fintech in, let's say, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities.
Yeah.
Wants to appeal to young first-time investors, right? So I would not. This is what has been coming to me, that I don't want to have a 20-year experienced chartered accountant giving me that.
Grey hair.
I want, it look old, weary, boring.
Yeah.
I want like a 25-year-old to come and make this fun and interesting. And,
Pop culture. Please don't say, anyone says pop
Absolutely.
culture again to me, I'm gonna punch
Yeah.
that person, because you then want to talk down to your audience
Yeah.
and explain them a finance concept by saying, कुछ कुछ होता है picture में, ये आपने देखा था, राहुल देखा था, अंजलि देखा था, and you talk to them as if they are kids.
Yeah.
People don't think anyone who's speaking like this really knows what they're talking about. They can see through it. They don't know why, but they can see through it that this is not a real expert talking to me.
Yeah.
Look at Rachana, if you're looking at finance.
Yeah, absolutely.
She has authority. She is a chartered accountant. She speaks with that authority. Now she brings in some creativity into her videos, and she does a bit of acting, singing, whatever she does. But her, when she's sharing information with you, right? She has that authority in her voice because she has practiced.
And it's authentic, which is very important on YouTube. You can see that through, right?
It's very hard to do something authentic with a teleprompter and scripting it.
Yes.
It's just not doable. Do you think a MKBHD has a script? Let's talk about the best of the YouTubers of the world. Do you think a MKBHD is reading from a script? He may have a talking points. Yeah. He may have a structure to his videos that I have to talk about. This. He may take retakes. His videos may be fantastically edited. But hey, there is no script that someone is reading. Absolutely. And the moment you start put good looks over authentic real content, right, you have lost the plot on YouTube.
On that note, so there's a very interesting argument which comes whenever I have given, at least personally, this Rachana Ranade example is, where do we find another Rachana Ranade? Yeah. Right? To which I have always felt that...
If I give you a Rachana Ranade 5 years back, would you know she's Rachana Ranade?
Absolutely. That is precisely my point, right? That you don't
will
allow
not find
it to
the next
develop.
Ranade, but you will create the next one.
Exactly. And I think... in fact, even Arun Prabhudesai, right, another one of the people we know. Great inspiration.
But hold on, let's go a few steps behind. Let's talk about why YouTube.
Okay.
The whole premise of why we say an individual or a brand can succeed on YouTube is that there is your entertainment and there is your different kind of creation. Yeah, you have your OTT platforms, you have your TV series,
Right.
you have your Shah Rukh Khans of the world doing it, Shahid Kapoor now coming and doing whatever series there. That is happening.
Sure.
Professional production.
Sure.
Why is there this whole creator economy word being thrown around? Why are there people called creators?
Right.
It is because the world is vast. There are so many things to talk about.
Sure.
And I am someone who practices something. I am someone who knows something by experience. And now I can go on YouTube. I can share it with someone with my own experience. And that is valuable. The whole premise is that. Now, for example, say I am a cobbler. I know how to fix your shoes. It doesn't matter how good I am looking. I am someone who's good at Excel. I'm teaching you Excel. It doesn't matter how good I am looking. Right? You learn from me. You bought a new MacBook. Congratulations. I will teach you how to use this new MacBook. Right? It doesn't matter how good I look. It matters how well I know macOS and how well have I used it for the last 15 years, and I can tell you how to use it better on day one. So that value comes from who the creator is or what that niche knowledge is being shared. Sure. The moment you separate out the creator and the content, for example, say someone wants to prepare for a job interview. Sure. Right? I will rather have someone who has worked in a company either as a recruiter or has worked as an employee and has seen the recruitment process across multiple companies as an employee, as well as stuff happening around. And the behind the scenes insights that will come out of these individuals and conversations that they will generate, that is authentic, that is real. You can use ChatGPT and make a fantastic video script under 1 minute on how to prepare for a job interview.
And just read it out with a beautiful face.
Yeah. But is that authentic? I think, or I want to make the claim that people can see through this.
Brilliant.
And for the most part, a lot of our generation came from Google search, where this concept was totally different. Sure. Anyone could write the content. What you have to do is you have to rank the text. The text does not have character like a video. Sure. The pauses I take when I am speaking, the examples I give when I am talking about something, the references that I bring in. It's very hard to build that into a script, because the moment you think of writing a script, you're then thinking, okay, now someone has to read this script. Now a committee will read this script, not an individual. Sure. So there is character is being lost, it's becoming a committee game. Right. And then the script is being evaluated on, it's not friendly enough. Let's put some pop culture into it. Let's tell a story around it. Like kya ho raha hai? Right? Matlab, the problem is, then you have said ki, let's just create an ad film. Agree. And none of us are experts in creating ad films, so let's give it to an agency. So आप ad film बना लो ना, अब YouTube क्यों बना रहे हो? So that's the slippery slope of where you start from why YouTube, and by the time you go try to create YouTube, since your mind is thinking camera, lights, action, looks, it's downhill.
I just want to bring you back on that note. In your experience, right? And we've been browsing YouTube for years now, right? For a fundamental problem that we face. You talked about Mac. I've done that when I got my first Mac. I've done that when I got my first Android. I did that when I bought let's say a new car, to figure out the features. More often than not, when we search for those kind of questions and the videos that come up, right, are these nerdy, geeky sort of people. So is it fair to say that while a brand may want to have an image in a certain person or of a certain kind, if you are focusing purely on search, then the authority, then how well is this person read or the experience of that person, that counts towards the video ranking higher? Is there some correlation in that, or do you think that is too far-fetched?
So I don't think on YouTube, at least as of now, just by being a big brand, or just by having an experienced person sitting in front of the camera, you get any marks. Okay. You get marks for creating useful content. It's really a level playing field. We now have brands coming in talking to us about, hey, those influencers are getting traffic in our domain. Sure. We should now act. Okay. Right? So it is really like the blogs revolution. And Google SEO, I would say that got diluted a lot because a lot of activism by large brands to rank better, and a lot of, let's just say Google News has or rather Google as search engine has not done as well.
Sure.
I wouldn't count that if I search Google for something, I will find
the most useful content right up front.
Right up front, because it has been SEO to death.
Yes.
That doesn't happen on YouTube as much. It's happening there.
Okay.
I am not very happy with the way YouTube search is also evolving, because the moment you search for something specific, it still gives you viralish content now. It tries and push you down the rabbit hole of shorts. So the incentives are at odds, but YouTube is still such a visual medium. Good content and good creators get discovered. And there are ways in which Google search is a transactional audience for you. On YouTube, you can really build an audience and a community. And that is something I think we've talked about,
Yes.
it, and we are happy to talk about it more. But YouTube is different in many ways.
Sure.
So that's there. And like a while back, I think people could see that I'm really frustrated about some of the things I'm talking about. You can't build that in a script.
No, you can't.
Right? You can't bring out emotions in a script as well, because it's not my lived experience. Yes. How would I read it out from a script?
Yes.
Right? And over 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 15, 20, 100 videos, how will I carry that?
Brilliant.
Right? It has to be authentic.
Sure.
And for that reason, YouTube is about being authentic, is about being helpful, is about sharing your lived experience in some form. And that is why podcasts, I think, are doing so well on YouTube. Point, right? Yeah. Because over there, it is inherently not scripted.
Yeah. No holds barred sorts.
Yeah. And if the conversations are done well, then there is a lot of natural authenticity that will come out. And the rise of podcasts is only showing that people have been waiting for such authenticity to come out. And it is now happening with podcasts and video podcasts. It's been happening in audio for a long time. Like, haven't we been consuming so many of these amazing podcasts for a while? But on video now it's happening. In India it's happening. People are getting to see the faces behind so many brands and businesses that they know coming on podcast and talking. It is such a rich medium that way. It's not scripted. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, of course, script a 3.5, 4 hours podcast that, you know, some of us are fans of, and they're doing pretty well. In fact, you made a great point about the authenticity piece. You know, we were speaking to somebody who's a creator who has made a lot of, who basically reads out of some of these scripts. And in one of the reviews, it came out that the script said, I made a loss of 1.5 lakh rupees in one day. You know, they were reviewing some trades, etc. And he reads it out, I made a loss of 1.5 lakh rupees. You did not hear that pain in his voice, right? Because if you would have lost that 1.5 lakhs, or I would have lost it, right? And I was sharing my experience, it would be, oh, God damn it. Right? So I think the authenticity part is great. I think the other point that you made very well is about the podcast. So kind of attributing the success of podcast to the entire authenticity piece. If you are considering doing podcast, by the way, we have something very interesting coming for you, because we are going to set up something interesting. Till next time.